Welcome everyone. I happen to have the Revit screen, the Bluebeam screen up. And so what we're going to head to for week two's second sheet is that we want our floor plan, we want dimensions, and so we're going to add those that we need. And then we also need another south elevation. So let's get to work on that. I happen to have the drawing view up in Revit, and I'm pretty sure that there's a few changes that need to be done as well as some additional dimensioning. And then I need a south elevation down here. So I'm going to create my next south elevation. And what I'm going to do in this particular case is notice I have this CD South. I'm going to rename this one and kind of append a suffix on here of week 1 because that's what's on drawing week 1 right now. And then I'm just going to duplicate, let's see, this one. So I'm going to duplicate this view right here because I've already got some dimensions on here. I'm okay with those. They'll be good for this second week. So here, to use this Sheet 102, I'm going to right-click on my CD South Week 1 and Duplicate View, and I'm going to choose Duplicate with Detailing. I get my copy, and I'm going to rename it. And by the way, my workflow, really, I'm kind of this militant about this. As soon as I create a view, I'm going to name it. Because if I don't name it right away, it's really common when I've got hundreds of these that all of a sudden I can't remember what it is in my project browser that I just created, and I can sometimes take 15 minutes to find what I just created. So rename it instantly and make sure it's in the right folder or category of view type. So right away I'm going to choose Fine Resolution, and I'm going to immediately adjust the scale to match my floor plan view for week 2, and that was 1 inch equals 10 feet. Click Apply, and now navigate back to the drawing A102 and drag this view on. Here's the value of getting a scale correct before I put it on a drawing. One is right, my building views center up, and I got a lot less work to deal with this kind of stubborn little view title bar. Turns out to be it's kind of easier to deal with. And so right away I can see I'm kind of struggling with these levels that are stuck off in the title block. So let's see. I'm going to make an effort to move both of my views left. And by the way, I'm just kind of clicking the left arrow after both have been selected. And then I'm going to have to zoom in a little bit here, activate this view, and I want to adjust my levels so that they're a little bit shorter. I clearly only want to do the 2D version. I find that grip and drag it back. Repeat that for level 1. 2D, find the grip, drag it back, and get my little... So now that south elevation fits on the building, it looks like everything else will fit as well. So deactivate view by double-clicking out. And let's do some annotation dimensions. So I already have across the top these angled areas. I just need to add coming across the next grips. So I'm going to activate this view, right click, edit witness lines, and I don't even care about the building right now. I'm just going straight to the grids. Then click to finish. And here's part of the value of grids. If I know I modeled core face exterior to the grid, then I can dimension to the grids. And it's really easy to hit this grid as opposed to zooming in so far and trying to attach to the core face exteriors. Okay, so I need a couple more grids. And notice I have 25 feet, 25, 20, 25. Well, add it up at 75 feet. So I'm just going to select this grid and copy it 75 feet to the left. And I know the next one I need is 80 feet, so I will copy that one 80 feet to the left. Okay, so I now have those grids that I need. They're just not the right order of text. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this to E, D, C, B, A. If I try and make this one E right now, Revit won't let me because there's already an E. So I'm going to start here and change this to a default like X. I don't care what it is. I just want it to not be what I need. And so now I can go E, D, apparently I can't, D, oh yeah, all right, so I got a D already, so I'll make this a Y. Come back here, D, C, B, and A. All right. They're awful tall. I mean, may not need to be so tall. Let me check on the Revit screen. Looks like I only need that one chain of dimensions. So in this particular case, I'm going to draw the Revit the dimension line up just a little bit, and then here, this is the farthest north I'm ever going to go in my building. So maybe my grids are taller than they need to be. So now I am going to adjust the 3D grid. And because in 3D all my grids are already kind of snapped together, they will all move in one move. So I'll leave them somewhere in there. They look a little more reasonable. And so let's see, I've got some more dimensions to put in. I've already got what's over here on the left. And I think I should have for my exterior walls probably grid to wall to wall to grid. So let's add that. Annotate align dimension. And here we go. I'm going to use the grid. Here I have to actually zoom in and get my core face exterior, and grid. And let's see what I've got. And I have 30 feet and 3/4 inches, not even close to what I want, 25 and 24, nothing's centered up. So I don't know what I was doing. But I'm going to fix it. So let's see. I'll pick this wall, change this to 30 feet, and I am off by about 3 inches. So let's see what happens if I just move these 1.5 inches. So now it looks like I'm off only by a 1/16 of an inch. And I will move them one more 1/16 of an inch. So now 25.6, oh great, 24.6 and 30 feet. So I'm actually a foot off. So I'm going to move them back to the left 6 inches. Okay, so finally 25, 30, and 25. And I'm 25 down. So you can see another example where we want to approach this modeling piece by piece. So don't think about doing a complete project of an entire building in a model and then start to dimension your model, right? We work in pieces. So I had added this today. I dimension it today and find out it's wrong, and I can make those corrections. In a 6-month project, if I only model and don't dimension, I come back to dimension 4.5 months later, and I'm not going to recognize what's right or wrong. So I also think I can shorten up these bottom grids just a little bit, and let me check and see what dimensions I might need along the bottom. I'll put it on pause and be back in a second. Yeah, so I think I want to extend this dimension chain all the way across. So let's see what we can do there. And to come across, I want it to be a little further from the building. So I'm going to drag it down a little bit. Right click, edit witness lines. And let's see if by any chance I can choose these corners. And by the way, Revit 2021, clearly this is much more straightforward than it used to be. So there's one corner. I'm going to find this next corner. There it is. And now I can rely solely on grids. I'm not going to go here to here, right, because I already have them up here. So I'm going to stop here, hit escape. Hopefully that's stuck. Darn it. Yeah, so this happens to me. So edit witness lines, corner. Yeah, here's where I would love to be able to edit that issue out. Corner and end of grid. And of course, to get out of this dimensioning, I click in an area that does not have a dimension. All right. So we can see it is a great example to finish up with. 14 feet 7 and 47 64s and 17 64s. Okay. Well, this is, I got to be careful. See if this is correct. So let me put a dimension on here. Core face exterior to core face exterior, and put it into place. Yeah, it's 30 feet. Okay, so here's how I want my walls built. And this 14 and 7 and 47 64s, it's just a ridiculous number. It is what it is. And so is this 30 feet and 17 64s. It's a silly number. Nobody can use that on a construction site. So I've got a couple options. One is I can delete these dimensions and force someone to use the dimensioning on the top and then the dimensions across the wall, which might be perfectly reasonable. But I'm going to take a different approach in this particular video. I am going to click on this dimension, and I can see here's a type of dimension. And by the way, you can see that there are lots of types of dimensions here. Well, I'm going to create a new one. Right, I'm putting final dimensions in, and notice all of my dimensions in this chain have whole inches, and I'm going to force these dimensions to be whole inches. So I'm going to take this dimension type, I'm going to edit it, I'm going to duplicate it, and I'm going to name this one 3/32 whole inches. And of course, we remember on the first day we did our project units, and at least I set mine to 2/56 of an inch. In the dimension styles, we can also control the units format. And here I'm going to click on this and say I don't want to use the project settings. And I'm going to set the nearest accuracy to the nearest whole inch for this, for this dimension style. So I'm going to click OK. And notice this dimension is the new type, whole inches. And by the way, notice the others aren't, right? So they are, I'm trying to think. I don't think, actually, I guess there aren't any fractional, but they're still there. So also notice that this 15 foot has lost its 0 inches. Yeah, I really don't want that to happen. So click my dimension. Here's the style. I need to adjust this style again. So I'm going to edit type again, scroll down, get my units format, and I don't. Oh, nearest 1 inch. You guys probably all saw that on the video. I could hear you yelling in the background. So I'll click OK, click OK. And so, yeah, so I have dimensions now to the nearest inch. Notice it's not 14.7 and something 64ths of an inch. It's inaccurate, but it's inaccurate by a very small fraction of an inch. And that's just what we're going to do in construction. All right, so I think this view here, at this point, I'm going to call it good. Take a look at the Bluebeam PDF and see what you guys think in your project. And so I'm going to close out this section, and in the next section I'm going to open up my first week sheet, and we're going to see that it's an absolute mess. And we'll work on that in the next session. Hope this is helpful.